I just have one question. When Cap needed help, if I'd asked you, would you have come?
I guess we'll never know. But if you had, you'd have never been caught.
I do some dumb things, and the people I love the most, they pay the price.
Thanks to you, we had to run. We're still running.
Let's go. Hold on. You gave her wings?
And blasters.
So I take it you didn't have that tech available for me?
No, I did.
Fans Not Experts Movie Month. It's my 6th year doing Movie Month. 30 movies, 30 days, 30 podcasts that you get to listen to. Fans Not Experts Movie Month. It's my 6th year doing Movie Month. 30 movies, 30 days, 30 podcasts that you get to listen to, including this one right here. But wait, one more time. Fans Not Experts Movie Month. It's my 6th year doing Movie Month. 30 movies, 30 days, 30 podcasts that you have the pleasure of listening to. An episode is about to start right now. An episode is about to start right now. The theme song is fading out because an episode is starting right now.
Wait. This is day one. I gotta have more than one theme song.
Many months since I've been here. On the web, I was passing my time away. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, really I don't give a damn. I was not concerned until June returned.
Here I am, and on this podcast, with 30 more movies, and baby, you better believe
I'm back in the movie groove. 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 In the movie groove.
Whew, okay. That's more like it. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's June! It's June! Can you believe it? I'm back. We're back. This is back. Are you ready for 30 straight days of podcasting, 30 straight days of movies, and 30 straight days of hearing that theme song, the first one, over and over, fast forwarding through it probably, over and over, 30 times. I'm coughing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Fans Not Experts Movie Month 6. This is the 6th year of doing this. I started this in 2014. 2 years of blogging. This is my 4th year of podcasting, and I am excited. This year, now I'm trying to do the math. 30 times 5 is 150, so we're going to be watching movies 151 to 180. The birds are chirping. It's June. It's beautiful. I'm outside, and I am ready to talk movies. Folks, it was like Christmas morning today. I woke up early. I woke up before 7, and I was like, I want to get this day started. I put the laundry on early because I wanted my Bruins shirt clean because the Bruins are in the Stanley Cup Finals, and there's a game tonight, and I wanted to watch my movie. I knew what movie day one was going to be, and it was on Netflix, And I can't stop coughing because it's early. But you already know what it is because you've downloaded this episode. Ant-Man and the Wasp. As you can see, once again, I'm behind on my Marvel movie watching. But folks, I am 100% spoiler-free, and I'm going to remain spoiler-free. And hopefully, a week from now, within a few days, I'll be caught up on my Marvel movies. Not doing everything in 1, 2, 3, bang, bang, bang. I don't have the time. I don't have the availability to get to the theater. But I've waited until friggin' June again to see, the latest Marvel movie. And I waited until June to catch up on the movies I didn't see last year. The last movie that I saw was the Infinity War. And I waited and waited and waited until we hit June again. And here we are, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I knew I was going to enjoy this movie. I knew that it would be fun. And it's still 2 hours long. Like, it felt like it went by pretty quick. And I know the end game is 3 hours or close to 3 hours. So I'm ready to probably, I'm not going to wear an adult diaper, but the thought has crossed my mind. But 2 hours in the morning, birds are chirping. They're so excited for me. It's still a fairly long movie for something that's like a movie. These movies, they don't make 80-minute, 90-minute movies. They go all out with these movies because guess what? People are watching. People are seeing them. I don't know what this did in the box office, but they always do good. And I was like waiting for where's the answer to what Ant-Man's been doing during, Infinity War. And we got it at the last second. But let's talk about the movie a little. And if you haven't seen it already, it's a year old, if not more. It came out last year, so it's not over a year old. So let's just set some ground rules going ahead. Every movie that I talk about, every movie that I see, I'm going to be spoilering. Spoilering? I'm going to be spoilery. Look, these movies, most of them aren't going to be brand new. Some of them will be in the theater, and I'll try to be less spoilery for them. But most of them will be ones that have been out for a while. So I will spoil them, and I will talk about them, and you're just going to have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? That did not sound authentic in any way. So Ant-Man and the Wasp. So we pick up Scott, I wanted to call him Scott Pilgrim. Scott Lang is under house arrest. Why? Because of what happened in Captain America Civil War. I'm still trying to remember everything because, to be honest, I see these Marvel movies one time. I don't watch these things over and over and over again. So my memory is like, well, Scott was in that. Germany, that sounds like that. They were fighting with the Avengers, against each other. That sounds familiar. And I guess he was caught. I don't remember. Well, I do remember him being in prison, actually. But I don't remember how that ended. But somehow he's under house arrest. And he, while he is under house arrest, Michael Douglas and Evangeline Lilly, Hank Pym, and Hope, it's not Pym, but it's like something. They're continuing work. They're working on something because Hank Pym has a theory that their mother is in the quantum, I want to say quantum of solace, but that's James Bond. I want to say quantum leap, but that's Dr. I can't remember his friggin' name. I'll just say Dr. Scott Bakula. I know that's not right. And quantum mechanics. That sounds like something. A lot of quantum. And even Scott made a joke. You just put quantum in front of everything in this movie. Scott went down to this quantum level in his last movie. He came back. But they think that's where Michelle Pfeiffer's character... Oh, did I spoil it? They think that's where Evangeline Lilly's mom and Hank Pym's wife could be, played by Michelle Pfeiffer. They had a little flashback, and they did that. Marvel loves doing, or Disney, I should say, loves de-aging people and putting younger versions of them in movies. They did it with Michael Douglas last time. They did it again this time, and it was a little better. I feel like they've improved upon it, and they don't show too much. I think when they showed Lawrence Fishburne, spoiler alert, he's in this too, Oh, my goodness. Ooh, my bagel's coming up on me. When they showed Lawrence Fishburne, his face was probably the most in the brightness, in the light. And it was the most, looked a little digitally. But they do a pretty good job with it. And, look, am I going to go through the whole plot of the movie? No, I'm not. Let's just talk about the gist of it. So they have a plan to go at this quantum subatomic level to try to save their mom, because Hank has a theory that she's still out there. They don't want anything to do with Scott because Scott stole Michael Douglas's suit when he went off to Germany. That's why they're mad. Because I'm sitting there going, why do they not like each other? I don't remember what's going on. And it seems like, I think it was just because he stole the suit and he said he dismantled it. But he didn't. Spoiler. So they have this plan to shrink. They made this quantum gate that they want to shrink one of them down to go find the mom. I don't know if I sound a little better because I just took a drink. But they need a part, and this part they need to go get from a criminal, and the criminal is played by Walton Goggins. If you don't know Walton Goggins, he is pretty much awesome in everything he does. I've known him from The Shield, not Shield, but The Shield, and he was also awesome in Justified. He's basically, and even if you ever see Sons of Anarchy, he's pretty much amazing in everything he does. And he just plays that southern, drawled out criminal who's very, very polite in the way he talks, but he's also will kill you if he has to. That's my impression. I love to say basically a lot. It's going to happen a lot in these 30 days. That was my Walton Goggins impression. Now he, they go there for some sort of, deal. They're going to give him money. He's going to give them a part. And as it turns out, he knows who they are and he wants in on this. He wants that technology from the lab, so he's going to screw them over. Or he wants part of what they're doing, and they're like, no, we're not going to help. We're not going to work with you. He's like, well, then I'm going to take your money and not going to give you the part. Am I going into too much detail? And that's when this new thing comes in, this ghost, they call her. We don't know if it's a her yet, but she can phase through walls, and she's trying to steal stuff too, and yada, 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 yada. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Here's the deal. They need help. She stole the lab. They can't track the lab, but they think maybe there's a way we can track the lab. Let's go check with your old colleague, Bill, played by Lawrence Fishburne. He's like, yes, I have an idea that you can use to track the lab. And they're like, thanks, Morpheus. And then they go and track the lab down, and it turns out that once they find the lab at this ghost's house, she knocks them out, and who's there but Morpheus? Lawrence Fishburne's there. Bill. He's helping her. He and Hank used to be partners. They had a third guy who was played by Michael something or other. If you ever watched Fringe, he was one of the main observers. And then he played a small part on Gotham this year. He was in this for a second. I don't know why. I wonder, is that going to be someone in the future? But it turns out that they just played the parents of this ghost who died. But while she got kind of blown up in some sort of technical, chemical, quantum storm, and now she can't really materialize, and it hurts, and that's why she's stealing the lab, because she wants to go and get something to do with quantum. I don't know. Somehow, what she wants to do is exactly, in a way, it's exactly going to jeopardize wanting to go and find Michelle Pfeiffer. I don't know why. Even at the end, I wasn't sure why. Why does she have to siphon Michelle Pfeiffer's energy to get her energy? I don't know. And I just said, maybe they explained it. Maybe I missed it. Maybe they didn't explain it. Maybe it was a throwaway line. I don't know. And in these movies, I don't really care, There's a lot to unpackage and unravel. And when this is like the 18th movie or something like that. There's so many movies. And they got to try to come up with something new. Now, that was the main villain. Someone who was just trying to a victim who was just trying to help herself. Her, and then at the same time, Walton Goggins was the villain. So, a lot of good action, a lot of good, like, set pieces of things getting big, things getting small. I love a good chase through the streets of San Francisco. That's always fun. But, I don't know. And the villain looked cool, but I was like, the story of the villain was, well, you know, she's just misunderstood and she's a victim herself. And, oh, and then here's the criminal who's the real villain, but he's only in it here and there. At one point, I thought he wasn't even in the movie. So I wasn't crazy about the villain having this big, you know, villainous plan. They didn't have that in this movie. And that's okay. It was still a lot of fun. Michael Pena was probably the highlight of this whole movie. Everything he did was funny. They had to, the bad guys shot him up with truth serum. And they're like, it's not truth serum, but it was truth serum. And there was a whole funny thing with that. And he brought back What's Up, which he called the Beloved movie and a Beloved commercial. Now, if he said, don't you remember that commercial? You know, that's funny and that's fine. But when he says, don't you remember that Beloved commercial? That's what makes it funny. Sometimes it's just a certain word and a certain delivery. And he was probably, to me was the highlight of the movie. As far as everything he did was fun. And him and his two other guys, the three of them worked together with Scott as a security. They all pitched in. They all helped out. And in the end, it all kind of worked out for everybody. Well, almost everybody. So Michael Douglas ends up going into the quantum entangled zone or something. He finds Michelle Pfeiffer, and she's like, I've been down here for 30 years, yo. What's email? I don't know. That's a terrible joke. And she's like, you know, it changes you down here, not just mentally. It changes you, you know, physically, evolution, you know, evolving almost. And what does that mean? That means she's got powers. She's got superpowers, sort of, because they come out of the quantum, they survive, and there's a fight going on with that girl, the ghost. And she goes over and she's like, let me help you. And she touches her and glows and heals her because she brings powers from the quantum zone or something like that. Quantum whatever. So it just kind of, there was no explanation for that. It's just, she was down here for so long. She evolved. She's got powers. She'll use those powers to help the girl who was trying to get there in the first place. This was your villain. Now she's helping her and they kind of let her escape. I guess. I don't see her being caught. Lawrence Fishburne was bad guy adjacent. They were like bad guy adjacent. You know, they were doing something bad he was doing something bad to help her, but he was like, you can't go hurting kids or anything like that. So he had a code. So maybe we'll see them again. They didn't end up getting like justice for causing crimes. I don't remember her getting caught. Also Randall Park, always enjoyable, fresh off the boat. Veep, he's been in a ton of things. He was the FBI agent in this, and he was always like, you know, the great one-liners. He was trying to learn magic because Scott knew magic. There's a lot of little gags and little jokes that were just fun in this. Scott got a trophy for the world's greatest grandma because it's the only one that his daughter could find at the trophy store. And that played back in later because he's like, no, this can never leave the house. It's too important to me. Well, the reason is because that's where he hid the old suit, which he didn't destroy. So, I mean, I'm not going to go through every single thing that happened in this movie. Let's be honest. The good guys win for a minute, okay? Because then there's that last scene, and I thought, okay, they've got to tie this in to Infinity War. They've got to tie this in to Thanos somehow. How are they going to do this? And the way they do it is Scott needs to go back into the quantum area because now they've kind of perfected it. They've made a smaller version. It's in a van, and they need to go down and get healing power for their new friend Ghost. See, she's a friend now. She went from being a villain to a friend. So they would need to get healing magics, the quantum healing powers for a new friend. They put it in like a thermos. So Scott goes down. He's like, hey, everybody, I can hear you loud and clear. They're like, great. I've got the stuff. All right, come on out. And he's like, all right, I'm ready to come out, guys. And he hears nothing. Guys, he's in the subatomic level all the way down, really tiny. And it cuts back to the three, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, and Michelle Pfeiffer, and they're all dust. They're all faded away. Exactly what happened when Thanos snapped his finger. All three of them are gone. And then they cuts again later to the after scene was just a cute little thing where it showed emergency standby on the television because half the population of the globe is gone, and it shows one of the ants, big ants, playing the drums, which was like an ongoing joke because a giant ant, was taking Scott's place with his security anklet for his house arrest. So that ant was still at the house and playing the drums because the ant, I guess Thanos didn't hurt ants, or at least not this ant. So the last thing you see is Ant-Man and Wasp will return, and then that question mark gets added to the end. And you have to think, well, our characters are going to stay dead. I am so spoiler-free that I have no idea what happened. No idea what happened, and I can't wait to find out. I don't know if we're going to get answers for everybody. Are we going to get answers for... I mean, the movie's 3 hours long. Are we going to get answers for Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Evangeline Lilly? I feel like that's going to be what Scott is looking for. Now, in the trailer for Infinity War, Scott shows up. So he finds his way out of the quantum whatever and gets back on his feet, gets back to normal size, and finds the Avengers. And that is all I know. And there's still another movie for me to watch, a movie that takes place decades ago. And I need to watch that very soon, too. Will I watch it tomorrow? Probably not. Will I watch it soon? Probably, definitely, yes. And folks, that's it. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Day 1, movie month, 2019, year 6, in the books. 1 movie down, 29 movies to go. I am so psyched. I realize that my excitement is way beyond reality. It's not like I'm recording this and hundreds of people are going to hear this, thousands of people are going to download this. I can't wait. They're waiting on me. No, it's for me. There are a couple of people I know that will be listening and downloading and paying attention. Some people that I'm friends with online, some people that are friends with at work. And I appreciate all that. But I know for a fact that I'd be doing this even if nobody was listening, because that's just kind of how I've always been. I've always liked to do little hobbies, little projects. It used to be with a tape recorder, then a video recorder, and now I'm sitting here with a digital recorder. Yes, I'm not on my phone. I'm on a digital recorder outside that I'm going to now walk inside and put into podcast form so that you can download it. I love it. I love it. And this was the only movie that I had 100% set for today. I don't know what I'm going to watch tomorrow yet. I have an idea. There's a few things on the list, but I don't know for sure. I'm excited, though. I hope you stick around tomorrow. I hope you subscribe, and I hope to hear from you. You know, my podcast now, this is the first year that FNE, Fans Not Experts Movie Month, is on Anchor. Anchor.fm/Geek Mentality. If you have the app for Anchor, it's a great way to produce, create, listen to podcasts. You can also leave me a message, and that's it. You can leave a message through the podcast. If you do, I'll play it. What the hell? If you don't want to do that, you can email me, geekmentality@fansnotexperts.com. You can find me on Twitter @geekmentality. The hashtag, just look for the hashtag FNE Movie Month. If you click on that, if you follow that on Twitter, on Instagram, you'll see everything. I'm Geek Mentality on Twitter. I'm Geek Mentality on Instagram. Geek Mentality is the name of the podcast. Fansnotexperts.com is the name of the website. And everything leads you to my theme song. This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe, 'cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans not experts.